Aloha! I'm Tom Gaddis. So today we have a great call lined up. We're actually going to be bringing one of our very own sharks on, Diane O'Brien. If you have seen anything that she's been sharing in the Facebook group or the school group, she has been crushing it with selling premium listings on her smart directory site. In fact, she sold, I think, 5 premium listings at $149 a year before her site was even live. And now that her site is live, she's been killing it. She sent me a message the other day. Her business partner sold 15. You heard that right. 15 premium listings in a single day. And they're selling them for $250 per year. So we're going to bring Diane out. We're going to talk about how she got into this, what she's doing. We're going to talk about her strategy here. She's going to share what she's doing. You'll be able to ask questions and get feedback from me, from her, all that stuff. So good to see everybody here. With that, let's give a great Offline Sharks warm welcome in the chat for Diane O'Brien. What's up, Diane?
Hey, everyone.
Yeah,
this is great. Awesome. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing fantastic. I meant to ask you before we got on here, is it cold in Massachusetts right now?
Well, right now it's 81 degrees.
Oh yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good.
We go from winter to summer. There's no spring.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny. It was that way in Michigan. Like there was very little spring. Here we get about a month of nice, like cool weather before it gets excruciatingly hot in Vegas. But well, hey, listen, I'm really super excited to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on and being open and willing to share and talk about what you're doing with other people in the community. Because I know, like, I mean, for me anyway, you know, when you see other people out there doing things, and sometimes when they're the people you're learning from, it's easy to think, yeah, it's easy for them, but right. I couldn't do that, right? And so I think it's great when other people come on and share and just say, hey, look, you know, we're all just regular people. We're all just making our way in this entrepreneurial maze, but like if we take the actions and we do the things, we can do it. So really appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Well, why don't you tell people, so how did you get into digital marketing? Let's start there.
Well, ours is a very unique story. I was telling you just a little bit ago. My business partner and I, we actually started as an accounting firm. And we have a background in accounting as well as in marketing. And we had so many of our accounting clients, they're all small home service businesses. They were always asking us questions constantly. We're like, well, maybe we should start a marketing company. So that's why we decided to have both. And our first marketing clients were our accounting clients. And then we found that we started to branch out. And then I met up with your company through another partner of ours, and which was awesome. And so I've been following your things right along. And then when I've ever found out that you were running this directory, this is the ultimate thing to get your foot in the door, people. I'm telling you, we walk in, when we're talking to anybody, I can give you an example for me. I happen to be with one of my accounting clients, and all I'm doing is to go get my bill paid. And so I walk in and I'm talking to him, and then in walks somebody that is the next door. Well, she owns a med spa right next door. So she's like, oh, so what do you do? So I started talking to her, and come to find out she needs help with marketing. She doesn't know how to do anything. So I told her about our directory listing, and she's like, oh, I need that. And she, at that time, we were $149. And I said, nobody's even thinking about the $149. Maybe we should rethink this, because especially when we're going to give away so many things free as part of the package. And again, this is a foot in the door. This is not to get ultimate rich on, you know, directories, because this is to lead to bigger things. So anyway, when I was talking to the med spa, she's going to need advertising such as Facebook ads and, you know, a whole bunch of promo videos and things of that nature. So then I was in just the other day, and I ran into a moving company who came in to go pitch my client for his moving services, because it was a property management company. So I said, hey, do you need marketing? He goes, as a matter of fact, we do. I said, well, here's the thing. Right. And I said, well, here's the thing. We have this new thing that we're just putting out. It's brand new to the market. It's a directory just for people in Massachusetts. Are you interested? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I'll put you down for a free listing, and then I'll give you who's the person I should talk to. So he gave me the guy that I should be talking to. And I said, perfect. I'll put you in. We'll give you a call. So then I get on the phone and I talk to the person. And I said, hi. I'll say, Tom, this is Diane from What's the Mass Directory, exclusive to Massachusetts businesses. We created a free listing for you and wanted to be sure the information we have is correct. So we just assumed that they were interested. Yeah. Then, and since it's a new directory we'll launch, we're giving the first 100 businesses that upgrade to premium a blog post each month for 12 months, which is $900 value. Could account on you to be one of our premium members. And they always come back and go, what, you're going to give me a blog post for free? Well, yes, if you upgrade, we'll definitely do that. So then they're like, wow, that's pretty good. Wait a minute, you said it's how much? How much it is to upgrade? Now, I've never even mentioned what it was.
Right.
I tell them it's $250 a year. That they're like, wait a minute, what? I said, yeah, less than a cup of coffee, you know? And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, sign me up. So they don't even think about it. Now, on our site, we have something that's $50 and $250. Well, the reason why there's such a big difference, like $50 times 12 is over $600. Who's going to pay that? That's crazy. Now, we set it up that way for a purpose. We are accounting people. I don't want to have to go chase money. Yeah. And if somebody doesn't see instant results, what they had in their mind that they're going to get so much traffic and all this good stuff just by having in there, they might cancel over the course of the year as the year's progressing, even after, you know, we gave them everything that we gave them up front. So that's why we always say, well, do you want to pay $600? You want to pay $250 today? You're
really pushing them to go for the yearly. That's really what you
always
want. We don't really want them to be in the monthly plan.
I don't want to be in the collection business. You know, that's not what
well, it's interesting that you say that, because Nick and I have kind of always done it that way as well too. Like we never pushed a monthly type income. We always want to do the yearly, because again, the collection part, and we're doing a lot of stuff up front, and again, it's our foot in the door. I want to go back to a couple things, because there were a few really golden nuggets in what you said there. So I just want to make sure we pull them out and everybody appreciates them. One was, first, like, there's opportunity in so many places that you visit and where you go. I know you mentioned being in your client and then in the storage company. I remember one time I sold a premium listing standing in line at the bank, because the guy behind me happened to be a handyman. And we just started chatting, and he was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I have this directory for Hawaii. And he was like, I'm in. And so, like, always remember, like, what, you know, and this is what I think is another underrated thing about the directory and what it really allows you to do is you don't have to feel bad about talking about it. Right? Like, I know when I'm talking about like marketing services, sometimes you're like, you don't want to sound pushy. You don't want to sound salesy. You don't want to be that, like, you know, we all have that image of the person that just got into the new business and now they're trying to convert their family and their friends and everybody they talk to. And you're like, you see that person coming, and you're like, I don't want to talk to them. Yeah. What's so nice about the directory is it gives you something of value to talk about that isn't about you. You know, it's not about me. It's about the community and the area and the. Okay, so all right, I think we clarified a lot of things there with the what's an. Oh, one other thing that I don't think you mentioned about the package. So we talked about the blogs, the featured articles, and things like that. But another thing you mentioned to me was a video. You do.
Well, yes. We do a 20-second promo video for anybody that's on the premium. And so what they can give us any type of thing that they want to promote at any one time, and we will create a one-time 20-second promo video for them. And I don't know if videos can actually be put on the site just yet, but as soon as they are, we'll upload it for them.
Yeah, I don't think we have that quite yet, but we're getting there. And, you know, I think this isn't, you know, one of the things that I really loved about what you're doing, Diane, is that you haven't let any of the tech side of things stop you from just like barreling ahead. Like you're just like, and so like I've had some private messages with the Diane and stuff, and because I'm like, I saw what she's doing, I'm like, I want to make sure that you have the things you need. And she's like, what about this? What about that? I'm like, look, I'm like, and this is to me, this is what's so interesting, is because this is how Nick and I were when we got started. Is we were just like, it is just like full steam ahead, and we will figure all this stuff out because there wasn't another option, right? Like, And I don't know, that's the reason I bring that up for a lot of you on this call is because I think that is an entrepreneurial mind shift that you just have to develop over time. I know, like when you're first starting, because I know this is how it was for me. When I was first trying to branch out into entrepreneurship and start a business and all those things, I had no confidence in my ability. You know, a lot of the times I just felt like, oh my God, at any minute, somebody's going to show up on my front door and they're going to be like, is this where the fake Tom Gaddis lives? Like you have been outed. Like we know what's going on. We know what's going on.
Syndrome, yep.
Yeah. Like, because, you know, a lot of times like clients would ask me questions and I'd be like, oh, let me find out the answer. And then I'm like on Google, how do you do this? And then I'm like, yeah. And then I come back and I'm like, hey, I talked to somebody and blah, 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 blah. So, so that's normal. Like I used to think that there was something wrong with me for that maybe I didn't just have what it takes to do this. But what I've discovered over the years is everybody goes through that phase. Everybody has those feelings. Even the most successful people that you know still have them and definitely had them in the beginning. So don't let that stuff slow you down. Just embrace it, keep moving forward. And what happens is over time, because you face challenges and you face problems and you solve them and you get through them. And if you don't, you learn from them and you're like, okay, well, we know not to go down that road again. It's like that confidence in yourself builds over time. It's not just going to happen overnight, right? It's not just going to happen. So
the best part is because of this whole thing, we're starting with a product that in essence, you're giving away for free. You're giving a free listing and you're actually lessening the resistance. When you say it's free, we already set it up for you. I just want to go over what information you have. So
it's already there. Like it's not going away, right? Like it's already there. It's already like, and this is, I think this is a key psychological point that a lot of people miss in the directory, in the smart directory method, and especially the prospecting method. Because we were talking about this before. I told you how irritated I get when people ask me, well, how much traffic does your site get? Like, because I just like that, like, so Diane and I were talking about this before. So how many businesses have you talked to so far, Diane?
Oh God, I can't even tell you. I've
probably
myself and my team, it's been hundreds. I mean,
a couple hundreds. Yeah. How many of them have asked you how much traffic your site gets, even at selling a listing for $250?
I think there was 5, and all of them were people that have some sort of marketing background.
Right.
Nobody else even asks.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's like, it's like a non-issue. And I know I see Dorn in the chat, and Dorn can tell you this too. Well, I remember one time Dorn told me, like, the people that ask me about traffic to my site are the people I don't want on there. He's like, the minute they ask me how much traffic does it get, I'm like, see ya. We're just going to move on to somebody else. He's like, they are never going to turn into a paying client. And I'm like,
or they're going to be a client that you don't want because they're going to cause you too much aggravation for what they're going to pay you. It's not worth the time. And, I don't know if you find this, Tom, but I know for us, those that don't have a lot of money are the ones that are really a pain to work with. Whereas those that have a lot of money, they're easy to work with. So, if you put your foot in the door and you see if they start balking over $250, you're not going to be able to upsell them anyway. So just move on because there's so many businesses out there.
Yeah. And I saw Bill is asking, so how many, I don't know if you know this number off the top of your head, but I know you said you approached some of your already existing clients with this. How many people have you brought in that weren't clients before that you've just kind of brought in?
Actually 25, but the reason why
25, we're not already
on our site yet because I know we're working on the payment button, but because one of the questions that came back was, why isn't your payment button working? And then we're like, oh, well, hey, it's a new software, we're working on it, but here's our payment link. So we're waiting for them to, because now we have to go track them down again to get the payment.
Yeah. Well, and I've been talking to the devs about this because apparently the devs set this up in a way where it was like they needed to pull some information, and we're like, why do we don't need to pull that information anyway? So we have them working on that fix. But and this is another great example of not letting the tech slow you down, because Nick and I have been using this directory method for a very, very long time. And when we first started doing it, we had no payment integration with our directory site. And so we used Square invoicing, and we would just, when somebody said, yes, we want the premium listing, we just said, great, we're going to email you a link, click the link, sign up. And we just invoiced them through a third-party tool. And like, we just did it. So I know that's what you're doing now. In the meantime, while we're getting it fixed, I saw there's some things going on in the background. So we'll have some updates on that here in a minute.
Awesome. But, I will tell you that.
Let me check a question here. This is from Chandra, who is here in Vegas as well. Chandra says, Diane, is your local directory, Diane's is just focused on the Massachusetts area.
Yep.
Right?
And our goal is, since we bought the unlimited, our goal is to start state by state by state and see how many we can create. But we're starting off with Massachusetts first. Well, the next one we're doing is Maine, because that's where our other office is. And I can tell you right now, for us, home services and restaurants are the easiest people to get on this, because they need help. And, like, for example, I went into a restaurant that was bought out by somebody else, and the reputation of that restaurant was really, really bad. Well, I went in, and I was lucky enough that the owner actually seated me. And I sat down and talked to him, and I said, hey, buddy, you need some help. Can I meet up with you? And I also want to get you in this directory that I told you, and I went through that whole thing. And he's like, oh, yes, come in next week. And it was great. So work with the area that you know first. That's what I always say. And then from there, branch out. Like for us, we have home services, we have restaurants, we have, health and wellness. And let's see, I think we have, I want to say entertainment. I can't think off the top of my head. And then, we also have where people can actually post things to do. Because in Massachusetts, if people come here to visit, that might not be the same for every location. And then what we did was we broke the state down by things that people would understand here. Like, for example, we have the North Shore, we have the South Shore, we have the Cape, we have Western Mass. And this is funny, and only those people over 40 that know Massachusetts would understand. But we have had people say to us, why do you call it MASS? Why not just MA? Well, Massachusetts, for all our years that I'm growing up, it was always MASS. The mailman would not deliver anything with just MA. And so that's why it's set up the way it is. But it's a conversation starter that gets us going. So,
yeah, that's great. Here in Nevada, when you go to get your license changed over, they have written on the wall in every DMV, it says, real Nevadans pronounce it Nevada. If you say Nevada, get out.
That's funny.
It's like they even tell you like on the things. That's funny how regional areas have little places, little quirks like that. Yeah, well, I think your recommendation there, starting in your own backyard, that's something we preach very regularly. I think that is really, really a great thing to do as well. And then you said something else there that I was going to comment on, but now it escapes me.
Oh, well, somebody just asked, who do I choose to give free listings? Well, right. What I do is I find, first, this is like the lazy person's way, but I used your method on ChatGPT, but I also used Grok, and I scraped, who can I find the business owner? Where can I find the person's name? And I start with those people first. And then I'll add people that I have to go find out who the person's name is. Because you can't always find that first. But I, try to find enough that's in each region of Massachusetts. So this way, when somebody starts to look at our site, they'll see that they're not the only ones in that area. So that's something that we're, building out. The North Shore has tons of people right now because that happens to be where it is. My directory site is what'sinmass.com.
Yeah, you can find it in the comments too, I believe. And yeah, you can find it there and take a look. Yeah, and and this whole thing that you're doing with the quicks, I mean, this is like what we had in mind for Smart Directory AI, right? Like this is what the process should look like. We should be able to get up and running, start getting some listings, doing things like that. Was there did you have a reason behind the 250, or did you just double your 150 price?
No, actually, I just woke up at 3:00 in the morning and said, I think we should charge $250.
Let's just do 250. Yeah, right. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. When you were talking about the people that you look for, the services, the restaurants, the things like that. If any of you missed the walkthrough Wednesday training that I did this past Wednesday about how to create all your lead lists with AI, like how to use AI to make your lead list. In that presentation, I talked about ideal client profiles, the types of clients you want on, also the starting with the end in mind type of thing. And you and I were talking a little bit about this in chat because, you know, and I think this is an interesting thing to bring up as well. If you don't mind this, if I tell about this little conversation we had about the sales part. Diane mentioned to me in the chat, she was like, you know, we're doing really great on selling the premium listings, but sometimes my people that are reaching out, they struggle with selling a higher ticket service on the back end. And, you know, do you have any suggestions as to what might help with that? And, you know, one of the things she mentioned is, I know in your, like, what are the services that you offer in your agency?
Well, we offer SEO, we offer websites, we offer something called the search box optimization. Let's see, we'll do social media, and we can even put somebody on TV. So it really depends on what somebody's budget is. We do everything. But when you're dealing with some of these smaller people that, you know, they're just a mom and pop place that you walk.
So a lot of this stuff like Google Map, this is all set up inside the directory site itself, right? Now, these items here, like the featured blog post, the news article, online visibility report, Google business profile. So these, we use AI to create these articles. This online visibility report, this could be any type of software that generates like a marketing report that shows you where you need help online. So there's a lot of different tools out there that do it. HighLevel has a built-in thing called the HighLevel prospecting tool. And that's what we use for this. We just put the business into that. It creates a nice PDF report with their online presence, a bunch of other things about their SEO, their tech stack, their page speed, whether they have a chat widget or don't have a chat.
Also, ChatGPT has a new video component.